The gentlelady from Wyoming, Ms. Hageman. We got.
We have been investigating very serious charges made about your department and other elements of the Biden administration, which allege ignoring the law to protect political allies from being held accountable for their wrongdoing. One aspect of this allegation, brought by two very credible whistleblowers from the IRS, demonstrates a strategy of delaying criminal investigation into Hunter Biden and blocking any investigations into the corruption of Joe Biden. The whistleblower testimony notes that U.S. Attorney David Weiss in November 2022 allowed the statute of limitations to expire, even though Hunter Biden's attorney had already agreed to extend the statute on the 2014 and 2015 charges, which charges included an attempt to evade or defeat taxes and the fraud and false statements related to the $1 million that Burisma paid to Hunter Biden while his father was vice president. During a recent transcribed interview with the committee, FBI officials from the Baltimore field office refused to answer questions about the expired 2014 and 2015 tax charges because they were allegedly part of a, quote, ongoing investigation. Are the tax charges related to these years, in fact, part of an ongoing investigation?
Again, I have no familiarity with the details of this particular investigation.
So you don't know one way or the other?
That's right. I left it up to Mr.
So how
Weiss.
are charges for which the statute of limitations have already expired part of an ongoing investigation?
Again, I don't know anything about this case.
So why would charges that have already expired because of the statute of limitations be part of an ongoing investigation?
To answer in the hypothetical, because I don't know the facts, often charges from previous times are used as part of an ongoing investigation to inform information about intent, about patterns and practices.
For other investigations? So are there other investigations into Hunter Biden where this information may become relevant?
I think it's a matter of public record that there is a tax investigation of Mr. Hunter Biden with respect to other years. I don't
Beyond the
think
2014 and 2015?
Beyond the ones that are, that you were referring to, I think
Mr. Garland,
Mr. Weiss has already said that during the plea proceeding.
Okay, Mr. Garland, is it standard operating procedure in your Department of Justice for prosecutors to allow the statute of limitations to expire on very serious crimes when the potential defendant has already agreed to an extension?
So there, as I said before, there's no standard operating procedure here.
Maybe there should be. Well, this is an oversight hearing, maybe there should be. Maybe you should adopt standard operating procedures to avoid this kind of a circumstance. Would you agree?
No.
Okay.
Because it's left to the discretion of...
You've answered my question, thank you. According to one of the IRS whistleblowers, quote, the purposeful exclusion of the 2014 and 2015 tax years sanitized the most substantive criminal conduct and concealed material facts, end quote. How can Americans trust an investigation run by a special counsel who, by allowing the statute of limitations to expire, irreversibly, quote, sanitized the most substantive criminal conduct and concealed material facts?
The prosecutor in question is an experienced veteran career prosecutor who was appointed by
And we have no reason to trust him, do we?
By President Trump.
Okay. How much in terms of taxes would Hunter Biden have owed on the $1 million he was paid by Burisma?
Well, as you can imagine, since I don't know anything about the facts of the case, I can't answer
Probably
that
about
question.
$400,000. Isn't that right? I mean, you can do the math. You know the tax code.
I don't know anything about the facts of this case, so I'm not able to do the math to apply it to facts.
And by failing to pay the taxes on those ill-gotten gains, what would the typical penalty have been, for example, if it was someone who didn't have the last name of Biden or a D behind their name?
I'm sorry. These are all questions you'll have to direct to Mr. Weiss, and Mr. Weiss will address in his final...
By allowing the statute of limitations to lapse, did Mr. Weiss effectively gift the tax money Hunter Biden owed for the 2014 and 2015 tax years to Mr. Biden?
To say again, the decisions about whether in this area and whether these allegations are correct are ones that Mr. Weiss will be able to answer.
Mr. Garland, one of the things you have done over and repeated over and over and over again is that to point out that Mr. Weiss was appointed as U.S. Attorney by President Trump,
Yes.
as though that somehow inoculates him from criticism by us. Is that really how this game is played? That if someone is appointed by a Republican, then they're supposed to be on the Republican team? Or if they're appointed by a Democrat, they're on the Democrat team? You were appointed by Mr. Biden, weren't you? Are you on the Democrat team?
Let me just be clear. The point of that he was appointed by a Republican counteracts the claim that this was a partisan decision to benefit Democrats.
He remained as a member of the Department of Justice.
Mr. Chairman,
under you.
Time of the gentlelady has expired.